I'm just used to cities. That was the weird thing about moving to Victoria as well. I'm used to seeing a city being its own thing, and then there being empty land between it and another city.
Just vast tracts of nothing.
And even in Edmonton was expanding north and west. And there's northwest of Edmonton is a place called St. Albert, and I lived there for a while. And east of Edmonton is Sherwood Park. And there's always been like dead land between the two, even though it's like less than a half-hour drive to get from downtown to another kind of deal. So it's really weird to me. It's like there's still empty land denoting the space between two cities. So coming to Victoria and discovering, well, where am I now? Well, you're in Victoria. Okay, but I've walked 3 blocks north. Where am I now? Well, now you're in Saanich. Okay, well, now if I go this way, where am I? Well, you're in Oak Bay. Well, now if I go down again, am I back in Victoria? No, now you're in James Bay.
Don't forget there's like 3 Saaniches or something.
Yes. Yes.
You wind up in an
Why do you need
anti-Saanich.
so many Saaniches?
Well, one is Saanich and one is west.
One is Saanich, one is Saanichton, and one is North Saanich.
Right.
Yeah. There's 13 municipalities that are all crammed up against each other, and if you don't know where they're supposed to divide.
That's so excessive.
Wait, there's 13?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
No one needs 13 mayors in that small of a space.
No, they don't.
Your mail, it's
You're
all
right.
going to say Victoria, but you know whether or not you're actually in Victoria.
Yeah.
I lived here for a year and a half, and I didn't even...
Did they just have a rumble for the supreme mayor of the area?
Everyone keeps talking about pushing amalgamation. It's like we should amalgamate. I think what they should do, because I think this would be great. I think that what we call the Western communities, there's a pinch point where there's a pinch point on the highway where it's like, at this point you can't have any more cities. So past that, they call them the Western communities, and that's Colwood, Langford, Metchosin, and what's the other one? What's it called again? I forget. Anyway, because it's very tiny. It's not Linwood. It's something else. Someone were Lytton. I don't know what it's called. Anyway, I feel like Langford, Colwood, and Metchosin should just amalgamate. Just make themselves one big something or other. Langford's got a lot of money, so they'll probably just end up calling themselves Langford anyway. Langford also put a bunch of money towards a sports center being built in Colwood because they were like, we understand the importance of having a sports center and having it more central, so we're going to use it too because we're in the area, and so we'll put a lot of money towards doing it, but that also means we want to say in how it's run even though it's in Colwood, and that's led to a lot of like strife apparently, but it's small towns, who gives a crap? What's important about this is I think if they push themselves together into a single entity and they had a larger tax base and they could do whatever they're going to do out there, that would probably kind of like put an arm on a couple other places like View Royal and Esquimalt to say maybe we should do the same thing, maybe the Saaniches should become a thing, and that might actually then put because Oak Bay will never join everybody else, but they're too rich. I just feel like it's like everyone would slowly start to clump together, they'd form tiny masses, and then eventually there would be so much pressure that they'd have to actually form into like one group.
Put 3 Saaniches together, does that make it a club Saanich?
It's the Saanich Club or the Club Saanich.
Beej, are you sure this isn't just the 17776 game?
It's
This is too dumb to be 1776.
Yeah.
76.
Rotate them towards the side.
The balkanization of Victoria is just extremely stupid.
Yeah, it's not necessary, and yet here we are.
I have to pay to hire 4 cops for all of Oak Bay.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
I think I've been pulled over by an Oak Bay cop once.
Oh, you gave them something to do that month.
Yeah, I know,
That's
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Normally they just go around and harass people.
Yeah. Well, they were. I hadn't been drinking and I wasn't doing anything. I think I was pulled over because that was technically their check stop.
Oh.
They didn't have a real check stop. They were just like, they just put the lights up, I think, and had me pull over. And they're like, we're just checking to see if anyone's been drinking tonight. I'm like, I haven't. And they're like, yeah, you haven't. All right, good. See ya. I'm like, all right, whatever.
I've worked really slow retail jobs. I think if I worked that slow, I'd also try things like that.
You just need something to do.
Yeah, want to talk to people.
Just every once in a while you have to look busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like, we heard somebody kicked over a dustbin in Oak Bay.
Yes. Are you sure it wasn't a deer or a raccoon or a raccoon riding a deer?
We think it might be a renter.
Yeah, someone who runs, definitely.
There's a lot of assumed things inside when an Oak Bay person says a renter.
Yep.
There's a lot of stuff.
yeah.
There's
Yep.
a lot of euphemism there.
That word's doing two little syllables doing a lot of heavy lifting.